Hi, everybody. I'm on with Wyatt and Tessa. They are, I think, future Rotarians here in the Southeast Michigan area. And I know they're good people because they put together a fantastic CPR class. They sold out 4 or 5 of them. What is it, guys?
3 for sure, and then
next 3 are very close to it.
yeah, almost 3 are almost close to it.
It's pretty amazing. You've got sponsors. You've got a number of people coming. You secured a speaker, a venue. It's pretty amazing. And I think that you're co-presenting, or at least getting in front of the room for a few seconds at every class. Is that the idea?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And you've already presented once. I was there for the very beginning of the class to kind of greet people, but I had to step out, so I didn't get a chance to see you speak. So our recording today is to help people who may be getting started in the speaking business. Honestly, the things we're going to talk about can help everybody. And we're going to get you some tips right now, some strategies right now that will improve your game. Does this sound good?
Yes.
Yep.
This is only going to take about 20 minutes, but I'm going to request something from each of you. I need you to be 100% focused for 20 minutes,
Okay.
and I need you to be 100% honest.
Okay.
All right.
I know you'll tell me you're honest people. But when I talk about honesty, I'm talking about emotions and how you feel, and not what you think I want to hear, but the absolute truth.
Okay.
You know the deal?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Okay. So I'll ask you a question, Wyatt. Did you get in front of you said you got in front of the group on Saturday morning, correct?
Yes.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being an elite speaker, 1 being total rookie, how do you think you did? There is no wrong answer.
I say I probably did more of a 4 to 5.
Okay. Very good. Tessa, same question for you.
Well, I was gonna say lower because I was more like thanking them for coming. It was more kind of awkward sounding, so I would say like a 2 to 3.
All right. So this is important because now we know there's room for improvement.
It was mainly because the idea of talking points that despite yes, we were greeting them and kind of like learning their names and kind of stuff like that, just saying hi, welcome, thank you for coming, so on and so forth. That doesn't mean you don't have a small chance to at least get a little conversation going and then continue onward. For
sure. So I think you're not taking some notes. Everything is a presentation. Please write that down. Not only are you presenting when you're up in front of the class like your lead facilitator, Joe, was. He was doing the formal presentation. But you were presenting when you were greeting people as they came in the door. I was in the room with you. You remember that, Tessa?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you present yourself to the visitors, right? And then if you take them into the next room, you're presenting them to the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
If you're introducing them to Joe, I present you to Joe. Joe, I'm presenting them to you. So it's just one presentation after another. Some of the presentations only take 5 seconds. I presented for 5 days. So I'm presenting to you right now. You're presenting to me right now. It's all the same. And presentations, please write this down, are about emotion. It's not only how you feel as a result of doing the presentation, but how did you make other people feel? So that's an interesting question. Wyatt, if you gave yourself a 4 or a 5, would the audience also give you a 4 or a 5? Or would they rate you lower?
From what their perspective, from what I'm seeing myself as a speaker, they may probably even rate higher to make me feel better, or probably rate me to more what they realistically see.
Okay, which could be lower.
Yeah, definitely.
Tessa, the same for you, maybe?
Oh, they definitely saw 1. They definitely saw 1.
I don't know. But all I'm interested in is the truth. I don't want to know what they think that you think they should say. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just care what really happened, because that's what we build on for next time. And there is a next time. You're about to do class number 2.
And then 3.
Yeah.
5.
Wouldn't it be great is if you improved at least 10%, maybe 20% each time you did another class?
Yes.
Like the first time you did it, total flying blind, had no idea what to say, felt uncomfortable. Tessa used the word awkward a minute ago. The second time you do it, less awkward, more natural. The third time, another emotion enters, comfortable. That's huge. That's a huge difference between awkward and comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's our goal, is to get to that place. Now, it turns out there's something called speaking mechanics, kind of like the stuff you've been learning in school, that gets you really good at this thing. And it is not easy to be elite. It is not easy to be number 10. You have to do everything right. It's like scoring a goal in hockey. Why you have to do everything exactly right. You have to get a break from the defense. Everything has to be going your way.
Yeah, pretty much. You got to get lucky, and hopefully your teammate, if he's got on a break, can pass to you so you can get the back door. Yeah.
It's true, but nobody's ever scored a hockey goal just 100% because of luck.
Yeah. It's all about if you're lucky and skill. And
stick handling,
better than
skate speed, right? How fast you can cut, whether or not somebody gave you a courtesy check on the way in, whether the goalie had gotten enough sleep the night before. There's all kinds of stuff at play here.
Tons of variables, completely.
For sure. So I'm going to teach you today in the next few minutes a couple of mechanics or techniques that you can use to sharpen it for next time. They're very easy. Your biggest challenge will not be understanding them or even doing them. Your biggest challenge will be remembering to do them. Why do you suppose you're going to forget? Today is Tuesday. You're going to do this on Saturday, only 5 days away. You're going to look at your notes again before Saturday. Please tell me you're going to look at your notes again. And when you look at your notes, you're going to read them right before you go on in front of people, and you're going to forget to do them. Do you have any idea why?
Because you haven't practiced enough and you haven't done enough reading into it to make sure that are like practicing. I'm assuming as a public speaker for you, you can probably have seen yourself standing in front of a mirror and kind of like repeating it to yourself before.
Yeah. Well, it could be that you remember it, that you memorize it, or that you've studied enough and it comes to you. But here's what happens when you're in front of a group. Emotions, again, take hold, right? You get nervous. You get anxious. People are judging me. You got a million things on your mind, and you get up in front of the class, and even though you know what to say and what to do, you forget to do it. It happens all the time. I'll give you an easy example of this. Somebody tells you, it's probably happened at school already, you have to give a 5-minute presentation at school. Everybody understands what 5 minutes is, right?
Yes. Feels like an hour, honestly.
And then why don't you go 5 minutes? Why do you go longer than 5 minutes?
Because you're talking too slow.
You're too slow, or if say that you like. For me, it's mostly breezing through. Like, I can set up like say like a paper here that has over a page worth of information. I have done this before. It would take like 6 to 7 minutes to go through it. I got through in 3 to 4. I breezed through it really quickly because it's just super weird. And when you when the longer you're up there, it gives more people a way longer time to more likely judge you in a more way instead of giving you a quick judge like, oh, you did good.
Okay, so you got your thinking cap on. Everything you said is correct. Tessa weighed in early. She's correct. But the big reason that you don't end at 5 minutes, even though you know you're supposed to, is something called time dilation. Write it down. Time dilation means you lose all track of time. And I learned this in a CPR class. Do you remember when the paramedic came to Troy Rotary and talked about how the person that's calling 911 is answering questions from the operator, and she interrupts the operator to say, where are you? Why isn't the ambulance here yet? It's because she only called 60 seconds ago. That's called time dilation. And your emotions play tricks with you when you're in front of the audience, and you have to be ready for it. It may be especially true for females. I don't know. Some men are emotional too, but you have to be ready for this. So when you have 5 minutes on Saturday, which is probably how it's going to work out, I think, Tessa, you should request 5 minutes at the beginning of the class.
Oh.
Yes. And I think Wyatt should request 5 minutes at the beginning or maybe at the end of the class. And so what happens in the first 5 minutes is that Tessa thanks everyone for coming, explains what's going to happen, tells you where the restrooms are, and then introduces the speaker, Joe. May not go 5 minutes, Tessa. It might only be 3. Maybe. It won't matter. It won't matter. You're not going to do it in the right amount of time anyway. Why not? Time dilation.
Mm-hmm.
at the end, Wyatt comes on stage. How about a round of applause for Joe, everybody? Leads them in the round of applause. Listen, thank you so much for coming. We have a little survey we want you to fill out to find out what you thought of the program. We want to invite you to come to Troy Rotary on Wednesday because we're a part of that organization, and it would be great to see you again. And we want you to like our Facebook page, which is here. You can tell them where it is, point to the screen, whatever. Before we leave, we want to thank Gail Lucas for helping us have the event here. She is hosting. I want to also acknowledge my sister Tessa, who did a great job greeting you and laying out the day for you early on. Thanks for coming, everybody. And now your segment is done.
Yep.
Now, here's another mechanic that you can use. This is my famous tri-fold technique. It's a simple 8.5 by 11. You take a piece of paper, you fold it like this in threes. This is called the gate fold, G-A-T. So you do to put it in an envelope, right?
Yeah.
And the reason you do this is because if you hold the paper like this and you're nervous, guess what happens to the paper? It shakes because you're nervous,
Yeah.
right? And then you look all flustered, you're waving it around. I can see you doing this now, Tessa, right? But if it's folded like this, watch the newscasters on television. They always hold it like this, nice and tight. And then what happens is, I'm kind of drawing on this as we go. Hang on a second.
No worries.
You do your 4 or 5 talking points like this, guys. And this is what you're reading. It's just keywords. It's not the exact thing. Just thank Joe, like Facebook page, visit Troy Rotary, you see? And that's all I'm reading to you right now. So I'm using these keywords to get my 3 or 5 minutes done. It's that simple. You can do this, right, Tessa?
Yes.
Now, Tessa, where do you stand to deliver this presentation? Where's the best place to stand? In the business, we call it the speaker's platform. It's not a platform at all. It's just a space in the center of the room or the front of the room. Do you remember where you stood for the session? You were in front of the group, yeah?
I was in front of the group, but I was off to the side.
Okay. Interesting choice. Did anybody tell you to stand off to the side?
No.
So why did you choose to stand there?
Oh, nervous would be one thing. Probably because I'm more in the corner, so I'm not, like, I can't see everyone's eyes. I could see, like, the front row and then, like, the second row, and then I couldn't really, like, they could see me, but I couldn't really see some of them looking at me.
Okay.
So it's like a defense mechanism, you could say, where, like, my shield, you can't really see you. I can't really see you, but you can see me, and it works for me.
I appreciate your honesty. I think that's exactly what happened, and I see it happen a lot. So here's an interesting question. When you slink off to the side of the room, do people think you're confident or nervous?
Nervous.
Probably nervous.
What would you like them to think, that you're confident or nervous?
Confident.
Okay. So if they think you're nervous because you stand on the side of the room, watch my hands, would they think you were confident if you stood in the center of the room?
No.
Why not?
Well, first off, I'm on the side of the room, so, you know, that's just showing some, like, oh, she's kind of nervous then because she's standing on the side. So if I'm walking away nervous from the side, then I'm going to be, like, truly nervous in the middle.
Well, maybe, maybe not. Maybe by repositioning yourself in the center, you become less nervous because now you're owning it. You're stepping into the spotlight, the attention. You're showing signs of confidence, which is only going to serve you well. There's an old saying, fake it until you make it. Write it down.
Yes, our mom tells us this.
Fake it until you make it.
All the time. I don't even have to write it down, honestly, but I'm going to, because
this is a complete safe environment, guys. You know, there's nobody dangerous in the room. It's only your misgivings and maybe your insecurities that are speaking to you. It's very common for presenters. And I think by changing where you stand, Tessa, you have half a chance of overcoming it. But if you keep back in the shadows like that, it just reinforces what you don't want to show. So try to think about, and it might take you a couple Saturdays to come to this conclusion, it's in your best interest to walk 3 steps toward the center of the room, stand there and hold your ground. Be poised. You have the ability to do this. I've seen you do it on a number of occasions. It wouldn't be the first time you had poise and grace, right? Okay. So don't hug the wall. Get out to the center. Now, let's deal with the eye contact. It would be really good if you could look everybody in the eye, but it's not really necessary right now. I want you to look at the four corners of the room. This technique is called four corners. So I'm going to demonstrate with my own eyes. I'm looking right now in the lens of the camera, which is up here, and I'm going to look into the four corners of the room. Here we go. So we want to thank you for coming. We're really appreciative that you're being here. Together, we're all going to learn how to save more lives. See what I'm doing? Now, this is very predictable, but what if I mix it up? We want to thank you for coming. Hello. We, together, are going to learn how to save lives today. You're going to really enjoy it. It's going to be one of the best things you've ever done for yourself. You see what I just did?
Yeah.
Mix it up. I'm not looking anybody in the eye. I'm just looking in the four corners of the room. I know people.
We did that here. We're under a staircase, so it's kind of a smaller area. Because if I'm looking into the wall here.
Yeah.
This corner and that corner.
Well, just fake it till you make it, right? So,
yeah, exactly.
people will eventually figure out that you're not looking at them. But let's not worry about that right now. There's nothing that substitutes for eye contact. Nothing. But we'll get to that later. So you have a couple of strategies right now in your notes. Give me one of them.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
Evaluation and
the four corners.
The four corners too, and your presentation and emotion and presentation.
Okay, I missed the second thing that you said, Wyatt.
The time dilation.
Time dilation, that's right. That's how time plays tricks with you.
Yeah.
The other technique is called the trifold talking points. Okay? Now, one last technique for today. And this has to do with your facial expression. People believe what you tell them, but they really believe what you show them. For example, Tessa, if I said, thank you for coming today. We're really glad that you're here. We're very passionate about helping people. What, do you believe me?
No, you seem very monotone.
Yeah.
You see, you have like your emotion is very
more bored
low.
than anything. Like you could believe what you say, but you could come off as like, this is boring. So you could be like,
I don't want to be here kind of thing. Yeah.
So that's interesting, isn't it? I just told you I'm very passionate, but I'm not showing it. And now you don't believe it. And yet the only way I would ever bother putting together this class for you is if I was passionate about it.
Yes.
So this is a disconnect. And now the audience can't figure you out. They can't tell who you are as a person. So you always want to have what you say match what you do. So if I tell you, it's a pleasure to be with you today, what should I do with my face?
Smile.
Smile. Very much.
I should show it.
Happy. Be excited and out there, outgoing.
So easy techniques for showing positive emotion. First one is this. You're actually going to smile when you talk. Now you know to do this and you do it naturally. But why won't you do it on Saturday morning?
Because we're nervous.
That's right.
And maybe.
So you become a lesser version of yourself. Your volume goes down. You stop smiling. You don't motion as much, right? So you're not natural. When you're natural, you're believable. So the two tricks are, number one, you're going to write into your notes at the top, smile, the very first thing at the top of your notes. I still do this on occasion, especially if I'm having a bad day. I write smile in my notes. So I turn it over and I'm about to read. I see the word smile. What do I do?
Smile.
So can you tell if this is a fake smile or a real smile?
No,
That's fake.
It looks well.
That looks fake.
That looks
It's
fake.
fake. It's fake. But it looks pretty good, doesn't it, Tessa?
You show too much teeth or not enough teeth, it shows fake.
Okay. So there's a thing called a 4-tooth smile. Watch.
Yeah, I see a 14.
There's a 10-tooth smile, 6 on the top, 4 on the bottom. Actually, that's a lot more probably.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably. That looks more like a grin.
You know, I have my braces in right now. I have Invisalign, and what the orthodontist calls these teeth the social 6. And he's evaluating. He says, your social 6 look great. I said, doctor, I want social 8. I want all 8 teeth to be really perfect, really good. So Tessa's right. The right smile for the right job. But no smile is not the kind of way you want to greet the crowd, right? So that's the first thing. We're going to smile and show some. And Wyatt, if you're saying goodbye to everybody at the end, hey, everybody, we want to thank you for coming. It's really been nice having you today.
Keep a big old smile.
It's gonna have to be a fake smile if you're not feeling it, but it's better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna smile, and the second thing we're gonna do is this. Watch my hands. Just like that. Even if you're holding your talking points, it's like this. If you're back further, I call it the hug, right? Hey, everybody, thanks for coming. You see what I just did? Because otherwise, hey, everybody, thank you for coming. We're really excited that you're here. Hey, everybody, thank you for coming. We're really excited that you're here. See the difference?
Yes.
And it's that simple. All I did was move my hands like this. That's all I did. I'm faking it until I make it. So in a lot of cases, this is just a natural thing for people to do, but it may not be natural for you guys on Saturday morning. That's why I'm showing you these nonverbal signals. Questions?
I'm good.
I have nothing to say.
Okay.
I think you made your points very clear.
Good. I'm glad. We can do another session sometime, but I want you to review your notes a couple times. Just keep them handy. I want you to take them with you on Saturday. Look at them before people start coming in.
Not this Saturday. It's next Saturday.
Okay. Look at them before people come in. And when they're all seated, you can look at them again in the hallway, right? And then when you go on stage, hey, everybody, thank you so much for coming. We're really glad you're here today. Number one, we want to tell you a little bit about how the morning's going to work. Number two, you see? Beautiful. And it'll be, if you do what we talked about today, you'll improve your presentation by 30%. 30. I showed you things that I don't see in professional presentations in the workplace. So you'll already be way ahead of the game. You guys are so bright, so fast. Okay?
All right.
All right, thanks for being on with me. I'm going to be sharing this video in a Facebook group called Present Like a Pro. It's
Okay.
mostly for adults in the work world. If you want to join, I'll let you in so you can see the video. And, you know, feel free to give me a plug in a couple Saturdays if you want it, so that we can get some more people in the group and help them, okay?
All right.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Bye.
All right. Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Same to you.